Welcome back to more Ferris Sports Update. I'm now to check in with Bulldog Hockey and head coach Bob Daniels. Coach, thanks so much for joining us.
Yeah, good to be here.
Coach, you're coming off of an exhibition contest this past weekend against Grand Valley, and I know, like you said last week, it gave the guys some focus and practice to not have a bye week so early in the season.
Yeah, it did. The game served so many purposes for us. One, as you said, it gave us some purpose each day when we went on the ice to practice. Over the years, I've had a lot of weeks where you're off on the weekend, and gosh, 5 practices in a row when your next game's not for 2 weeks, you lose attention span. Well, here we didn't, and another reason I thought it was good to play them was, I thought it gave us a chance to play a lot of different guys in a lot of different roles. Some guys that hadn't seen a lot of ice time got a lot of ice time in this game, and then last but not least, I have hopes, of helping grow Division I hockey, and certainly in the state of Michigan and on the west side. And I think it would be ideal to have Grand Valley, step up and play Division I varsity hockey, and I think they can do it, and I think they could be a strong program, and it would be great for us to have that kind of rival, just right down the road. Now, we're thankful that we got Western and Michigan State and Lake State and Northern, lots of good teams in the state, but one more, there's room for one more, and I think there's the talent level in the state of Michigan, and particularly on the west side of the state, that warrants another team. And even though my opinion is the more the merrier.
First time the Lakers and Bulldogs have met on the ice in nearly 40 years, and obviously your team comes out with a big victory in exhibition contest.
Yeah, we did, and I wanted to dispel the rumors. I was not coaching back in '75, '76, so, but it was good. I give Grand Valley a lot of credit. I thought they came in with a good game plan. I thought their coaching staff did a marvelous job, and they had a really good game plan. Two things. Once they fell behind, it would have been hard for them to open it up to try to get back in the game, in terms of scoring goals. They would have had to take a lot of chances. And then I think, secondly, they got wore down a little bit. But, boy, they played a great first period. Their goaltender played great. And I thought they had some real good structure on the ice. And, that's credit to their coaches and how they had them prepared for the game.
Take a look at some of the highlights from the game. And as you mentioned, Coach, they came in, and in the first period it was only 1-0 your team by the end of it. But Grand Valley did a really good job of setting the tone early.
Well, they did. They did, and we were pretty stingy. I don't think we gave up a lot of shots, maybe 8 on the night, and that you can see one of them right there. And so that was one of the things too. I wanted, we talked about during the course of the week is that I really wanted us to focus on playing good, strong defense the entire night, and I thought they did. And it's an area of the game we've got to improve upon. This gave us an opportunity to work on it, and. So we preached, and so I was happy with the guys, although, I would have liked to have a little bit more than a 1-0 lead going into the second. And you can start seeing now in the second period, we're getting more opportunities, more scoring chances, spend realistically very little time in our own end. Like there's one of the 8 shots there. We don't mind giving that up. So from a defensive side of things, I liked our mindset. I thought execution on offense could have been a little bit cleaner. I thought at times we got a little lackadaisical with the puck.
You're going to see a big goal from Emerson Good, who he hasn't found the stat sheet yet in terms of points on the season, but playing really good minutes for your team early on in his career.
He has, and he can really skate, and he's a threat, and he'll come away with plenty of points in his career. It's a different game than juniors as he moves up the ranks, and there's more attention to detail here than what he would have had to have worried about, in terms of defensive responsibility. But Coach Kaufman's got him on the penalty kill, which I think it'll utilize his speed, but also help him to concentrate a little bit more on his defensive game.
You had a really good game from your sophomore class. You see Andy Noel right there, slot one in the upper left-hand corner of the goal. And talk about their play so far to start this season. Yeah,
I think the sophomore class has been outstanding. Picking up from really what a lot of them had was a great freshman campaign last year. So we're happy with them. Andy Noel's game has continued to improve. I don't think anyone works harder than Andy, and that's not just on the ice, it's off the ice as well. So we're happy with him, and anything that he gets on the ice he deserves. He's gotten through hard work.
You mentioned that being an exhibition game, you get to see a lot of guys that didn't get to play a lot of minutes. Talk about the way you're able to play some of those guys on Friday.
Sure. Well, it was nice to be able to get Joey Henson in some game action. Now, I had made up my mind with about 6 minutes to go in the game. We were going to get him in. I wanted to get him in next whistle. Well, the next whistle, it happened to the 2.5-minute mark. By God, we went 4.5 minutes without a whistle. And, I felt bad because I wanted him to see more game action than what he actually saw. And then, Nick Grimaldi was able to get in there and see some action, which we were happy about. We dressed, in our normal game, we're only allowed to dress, 12 forwards and 7 defensemen. Well, here we dress 14 forwards. And so, some guys like Caden Galt, who's been in and out of the lineup, Austin McCarthy, they both got to dress. They both got to see regular shifts.
Goaltending so far to start the season, obviously the shutout against Grand Valley, but both Noah Giesbrecht and Logan Stein have seen the ice and played pretty well.
Yeah, they both did. And I thought it's not an easy game for a goaltender to play when the play is pretty much sustained in the other end of the rink, particularly when the game is sustained in one end in the first period and you only got one goal. So now the goalie's thinking, geez, I haven't seen a shot in a few minutes, and if they come down and they give one up, that's a whole different ball game. So it's not an easy game to play. I'm glad, that they got a taste of that, so that, hopefully down the road when we're in some games, when we've got the ice tilted, that, they learn to stay in the moment, in the game, if the play's not in their end of the rink.
This weekend, of course, the first true road trip of the season, if you will, going up to Northern Michigan to play against a very good Wildcat team.
It is a good Wildcat team, and they've had a really challenging schedule so far. I believe they played Arizona State, who's a really good team this year, as well as Minnesota Duluth, and both of those are good quality opponents, and so they'll be ready and well prepared. One thing that's changed in their rink, they have an Olympic size sheet, and that means it's 200 feet long. That's standard, but it's 100 feet wide when most NHL rinks, including our rink, is 85 feet wide. And so, but they brought the boards in and made it narrower. Now they brought it in 3 feet on each side, so it's 94 feet wide. That'll make it a little bit better for us, but it's a hybrid. It's 14 feet wider, and it doesn't sound like much, but it changes the angles. It changes your play in your defensive zone. That itself poses a problem. So when we get up there, we'll have a chance to practice on that ice sheet on Thursday, have a morning skate on Friday, and hopefully we'll be adapted to it come Friday night.
Coach, thanks so much for the time, and good luck this weekend.
Good to be here.
We'll be right back for more Ferris Sports Update right after this.